Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jade. I create content which will help you grow your online presence, multiply your streams of income, and create profitable businesses. In today's video, I'm focusing on Instagram. Again, I like to do that a fair amount, not all the time, but a fair amount, because there's so many opportunities on Instagram, especially for business owners. In fact, Instagram has 1 billion monthly active users, which is insane, right? So if you're a business owner, which I'm guessing you are because you're watching this video, or maybe you're about to launch a business, Instagram can be a really powerful free marketing tool for you. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you a few specific tactics that you could be doing which will allow you to use Instagram to grow your business, okay? So if that sounds of interest to you, keep on watching. It's going to be a good video. So before we get into it, I want to take some time out to talk about the sponsor of this video. So Southern New Hampshire University is an incredible university who I have been working with for a little while now. And the reason why is because I am such a believer in the power of investing in your education. You've probably heard me talk about it before if you're not new to this channel, but I studied marketing, design, and communications over in the UK about 10 years ago, and it was one of the best decisions that I've ever made. The reason why is because I learned all of the skills and the knowledge that I needed to learn in order to not only succeed in my career in marketing, which I did have for about 8 years, but also to succeed in creating this online business. I truly refer back to the things that I learned during my degree on a regular basis. I even bring up like marketing theory and different models in my YouTube videos sometimes. Like, that's how much this stuck with me. And let's bear in mind that, as mentioned, I started university 10 years ago. So it's really stuck with me for a while now, right? Which is why I love working with Southern New Hampshire University. They have one of the largest accredited non-profit online degree offerings in the whole of the US. And what that looks like in practice is basically having the ability to choose from over 200 different degree offerings, which is absolutely major. So even if you're not interested in learning marketing like I did, which by the way, they do have various different marketing courses on offer, even if you're interested in learning something else, like I'm pretty confident in the fact that they will have a course that is suitable for you. So for example, you might be interested in art and design. Let's have a look at their art and design courses. They've got courses which specialize in things like game art and development, information technology, graphics design with media arts, like digital photography, right? Just a snapshot of all of the incredible courses that they have available as part of their degree offering. SNHU is one of the most affordable universities in the US. They actually have one of the lowest tuition fees, and also they've not increased their fees in over 10 years. Not only that, but when you sign up to one of their degrees and you enroll as a student, you get access to a whole suite of different online virtual initiatives which will allow you to meet with and bond with your peers virtually. This is especially important because SNHU's programs are fully flexible, which means that you can learn whenever you want, whenever you want. And this is an incredible thing to have. It means you can really plan it around your life. But with the addition of all their virtual initiatives and their clubs, it means that you don't miss out on the social aspect of university either. So if you are interested in studying at Southern New Hampshire University, I will put a link to the university in my description so you can check it out, browse their courses, and explore signing up. But for now, let's get on with the video. Let's talk about how to set up your profile. Also, please ignore my laundry in the background. I used to tidy up my flat for you, like every time I filmed a video, but I feel like we're past that now. Like, you know, there's laundry usually in the background of my videos. I'm not going to hide for you anymore. I'm not going to hide who I truly am. Anyway, so let's talk about how you need to set up your profile in order to truly leverage the power of Instagram to grow your business. The first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you've optimized your bio. I actually have a video specifically on bios and how to create the perfect bio, so I'm going to link to it up here. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to give you a few tips. The first thing I want you to make sure you do is have a value offering in your bio. And this is essentially like one sentence, a phrase which sums up the value that you offer your audience as a result of them following you. This is important because it's basically your hard sell of why your page is worth following. If you're going to tell people like, hey, follow me because I'm just going to upload loads of photos of me and my cat, that might not be a strong enough value offering for your page. Instead, if you say to people, hey, follow me, I'm going to give you tips for how you can take care of your cat, like that's a pretty strong value offering, right? You also want to make sure you've got things like contact information information. Ideally, you've got like an email button if you've got a business or a creator page, rather than having to put your actual email in your bio. Bio is a finite space. There's only a specific amount of characters you can actually have. So using things like Instagram's email button is a lot better than just like writing out your email in there and just taking up valuable space. You also want to make sure that you've got a good link in your bio. So I usually recommend using like link aggregation tools. So the one that I use is called Koji. You can head to my Instagram and have a look at mine if you want to have a look. I think it's really cool and like impactful, but there are other really good ones out there too. The reason why I usually think go with a link aggregation tool rather than just linking to your website is because a link aggregation tool allows you to link to multiple different websites. How many times did I just say link and website? My God. Because you're able to link to loads of different websites, it means that you can do things like link to specific pages of your website, like shop new in or sign up to my mailing list, but you can also link to your other social platforms. So you can say things like subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on TikTok. Like there are other things that you can do and other pages you can link to. Of course, you can be super savvy and create a page on your website where you can link to all of these things too. The most important thing is that if you're going to link to your website or create a page specifically for this purpose, it needs to be optimized for mobile, because when people are clicking on the link in your bio, they are usually doing it whilst browsing on their phone. So when they open up that link, it needs to be optimized for mobile, otherwise you are missing a trick. Also make sure that you've done things like set up a really great profile photo, which is really clear and relevant to your business. But also make sure that you've got a business or a creator account. I feel like that goes without saying by this point. I really hope if you're watching this that you have one already. If you don't, it's never too late. Make the switch. It's worth it because it allows you to have access to so many more features, such as your insights, which is incredibly important for you to have access to as a business owner. And if you're worried about losing access to loads of songs on your reels or in the music library, because that is something that can happen. If you switch to a business account, depending on the title that you pick, you might lose access to a lot of commercial music. If you're worried about that, then just make sure you select entrepreneur when you switch to a business account, because then you'll still have access to all of the music. My next tactic for you is to do with your content. Obviously, your content is an incredibly important part of your overall Instagram presence, but if you really want to grow your business using a channel like Instagram, you may need to approach your content slightly differently to how you've been approaching it so far. If you've watched my videos before, you might know what I'm about to say, but essentially you need to focus on creating value-packed content. You need to create content which is valuable to your audience. So how you do this is to create content which is more beneficial for your audience than it is for yourself. And that might sound really strange and a bit jarring. Maybe it sounds completely opposite to what you think you need to create. But if you feel that way, I'm just going to ask you this question. As a usual Instagram user, so not when you're using Instagram for your business, but when you're just using it for personal use, do you ever follow a brand because you want to be sold to? I'm willing to bet no. Majority of the time, we follow brands for a different reason. We don't follow a brand because we're like, okay, I'm gonna follow this brand and I really hope they spam my feed with photos of their product. Like, people very rarely tend to think that. Majority of the time, we're following brands for reasons like inspiration, for example. So let's look at a fashion brand. You're not following the fashion brand because you're like, I really hope they just constantly try and get me to buy their stuff. You might be following a fashion brand because they do a great job at styling their pieces and it gives you inspiration for your future outfits, right? You might follow a candle brand because they give you tips on self-care and self-love. You might follow me because I give you free value in the form of Instagram marketing advice and tips for becoming a content creator. You're not following me because you're like, I really hope Jade consistently shares photos of her courses and her membership club and just only posts about the things that she sells. You're not following me for that reason. This doesn't mean that you can't obviously talk about the things that you're selling. Like, I still do on occasion, 100%. There is a place for that in your strategy, but it cannot be majority of your content. Focus on adding value versus focusing on just selling whatever it is that you sell. My next tip is to use all of Instagram's features. Now, I know you might hear that and think, oh my God, is she okay? I'm not doing that. Because there are so many features on Instagram. Like, there are so many more than pretty much any other social networking platform. It's ridiculous. And let me tell you something, it doesn't sound like it's gonna slow down. Anytime another platform releases a feature, Instagram tries to top it and releases one as well. So if you're hoping that the day is gonna come where Instagram streamline their features, it's probably not going to come anytime soon. So the reason why I recommend using all of Instagram's features as a tactic to grow your business using the platform is that it allows you to have a real diversity within your content. So you may or may not know that every Instagram feature should be used a different way. I'm going to link to a video up here where I break down all the features and how they should be used so that you can get all the information you need. Otherwise, this video is going to be like an hour long, right? So watch that if you're unsure. But all of Instagram's features have different uses and therefore have their own unique purpose. The reason why this is a tactic to diversify the features that you're using is because by using all the different features and therefore creating specific types of content for all of the different features, you're able to create really diverse content, which is really going to enable you to connect with your audience really, really well. So for example, on your stories, you want to share a lot of behind the scenes content, amazing, that really allows people to see what goes on in your business. But on your feed posts, they might be a lot more curated, high production, and really aspirational, which is great because then your audience is going to look at that content and think, wow, I want that product or I want that lifestyle. Do you see how those two different things create a different response from your audience? One is allowing your audience to get to know you. The other is allowing your audience to aspire to have your product or your service. They're two very different things, right? So the more of Instagram's features you use, the more you're able to basically get a different response from your audience. And it allows you to have a really multi-layered approach to your content on the platform. Now, a lot of people might tell you that if you're trying to grow your business on Instagram, you just need to create loads of reels. And I'm here to say that yes, creating loads of reels on Instagram might help you grow. The algorithm is designed to show your reels to people who don't follow you yet. However, there is a downside to that. As I just said, every feature on Instagram has a different use, right? And whilst reels are really great at helping you grow, they're not necessarily that great at helping to foster a community or helping you to really, open a dialogue with your audience. You're better off using a feature like going live or like your stories to do stuff like that. So as mentioned, there's power in understanding the pros and cons of every Instagram feature and using a real mix to ensure that you're really getting the most out of the platform. So another method for you to use Instagram to grow your business is to think about where Instagram sits in your overall consumer journey. So what your consumer journey is quite literally the journey that your consumers or your customers or your audience go on from finding you to loving you to purchasing from you. So what does that look like? In marketing, we have these things called touch points, which are basically the different channels that you have where you communicate with your audience. So let me give you an example. So let's say my consumer journey, you might find me through YouTube. The next step on your journey might be to follow me on Instagram. Your next step in your journey might then be to sign up to my mailing list. The next step on your journey after that might be to buy something from me when I promote it via an email newsletter. And that could be your whole consumer journey from discovering me all the way through to actually purchasing from me. It's important that you think about what your consumer journey is for your brand, but also to think about where Instagram sits in that. So do you want people to find you on Instagram? If so, you need to make sure you're creating content which allows you to get a lot of reach and awareness. Or is it that you're trying to nurture people on Instagram, which is what I'm doing? So I'm actually using my Instagram to prove to people how much value I can deliver and to bring them in a bit so they can get to know me on a bit of a deeper level, right? Is that what you're using Instagram for? Or are you using Instagram as like the final destination of their journey where when they land on your Instagram, they're already nurtured and all you have to do is talk about your products and your service on occasion and they'll buy from you. Now that's fairly advanced stuff, I want to say, so don't get me wrong, you're not going to know exactly how to do that off the back of this one video, but if you are unsure, obviously I have courses which can help you, link in my description, but also have a Google, have a look online. Now you know what you're looking for. It's your consumer journey and how to map one out, right? I'm not going to pretend like I'm the only person in the world who knows this stuff. It's just that if you enjoy learning from me, then I have programs where you can do that, but there's other information available online that's definitely going to help you map out your consumer journey. So that is it for today's video. I really hope you found it useful. Don't forget that I've got a link to Southern New Hampshire University in my description in case you want to check them out. If you feel like hanging around for a bit, I recommend checking out this video. I basically share my one secret hack to consistency. I mean, it's not really secret because I shared it in a YouTube video, but I share my consistency hack, which allows me to always make sure that I'm sharing content across multiple channels on a regular basis. So check it out. I really hope you find that useful too, and I'm super excited to see you in my next video.